Well, I wish I wouldn't have had to sit here today to discuss this issue, but then this, I guess, is the need of the hour. It's a sea of plastic that we're talking about on Talking India Ahead. This is our debate number 2, and I'm Saurav Sanyal. Look at the image of that hapless dolphin, the lifeless carcass of the dolphin on our screens. And it will tell you why we have decided to look into this issue today. This image has been haunting all of us here at India Ahead. We're extremely conscious about the environment. We're extremely conscious about the world that we live in. We're extremely conscious about what we can bring to the table. We at India Ahead believe in bringing you good news. And that good news can come only from you and me. Joining me on the broadcast now is noted environmentalist K Siddhartha. Just wanting to show our viewers as to what about 8.3 billion tons of plastic waste essentially looks like. And here is a comparison. If you look at that, if you look at your screen, 55 million jumbo jets. That is what we are talking about. If you look at, let's just focus, just to give you a holistic idea. This is what 8 billion tons of plastic waste is now looking like. 1 billion elephants. So that is what the magnitude of the plastic waste, the quantum of the plastic waste. For you to understand, we have broken it down. Some 80 million blue whales. That is what 8 billion tons of plastic waste looks like. It also looks like, if you look at many of us have gone to the Eiffel Tower, we've seen the Eiffel Tower. That's the figure. If Eiffel Towers were to be clubbed together, 8,22,000 Eiffel Towers, if you pile them up one after the other, that would make up for what 8 billion tons of plastic would look like. Also, Dubai's iconic Burj Khalifa, 18,400 and Burj Khalifas would actually add up to the amount of plastic waste that we are looking at. How scary is this? Mr. Siddharth, please come in on this. And looking at this, do you also feel, Mr. Siddharth, that the need of the hour is to start a very concerted and not a sporadic, environment awareness push right from the word go at the school level as well, so that the generation which is coming up also is equally aware of what pollution is, or what plastic pollution really looks like, and what its ramifications are. This is something which is only relegated possibly to some school projects once in a while, or some customary cleaning up operations once in a while, road cleaning exercise. So we say that we have achieved the mission of Swachh Bharat. Mr. Siddharth.
Now, coming to your first question, that was with respect to what magnitude it is going to be and what effect we're going to have it. I just going to give you one example. That is, most of the plastic that is going to be found in the oceans, that happen to be in the form of microplastics. Now, whales, when they go on to move, particularly the baleen whale, which go on to be having a certain type of a membrane, now they go on to engulf all of those type of plastics. Now, this plastic goes on to be inside the stomach of the whale, and that rests there. Now, the impact is that most of the whales either go on to feel full. That means they don't go on to feel like eating anything at all. Or the second is that they don't go on to clean their bowels. The third is that they go on to become sick. And once they go on to become sick, they start dying, they start becoming weaker and they start dying. The second aspect is there are at least 7 sections in the whole of the ocean where there are gyres, and these gyres are essentially plastic zones in the whole of the world. Massive accumulation of plastic happens to be part of it. In Atlantic there are going to be 2 of them, Pacific there are going to be 2 of them, one in Indian Ocean, and ultimately all the plastic that we go on to generate on the land, that finds its way onto the oceans. So whatever that we have done right now, that is going to find its way onto the oceans till the coming next 10, 15, 20 years of time. Now, that is the first part of the question that I have answered. Coming to the second part of it, now an environmental awareness program with certain things like a change in perception of the children is the dire need of the hour. Now, you can always go to show to the children, see there is a mother whale, there is a mother dolphin, and her baby is not being fed, largely because the mother has died, or her milk has gone to become toxic, and that will go on to spur up a certain type of an emotional outburst from the children, who themselves will stop using such type of a thing.
Right.
That's number one. Second is, of course, the parents have to make a concerted effort that they don't go on to use anything called as a plastic in their house at all. And this is something that they can go on to start showing it to the children and start generating awareness among them.
Absolutely.
The third is that something like environmental ethics. Environmental ethics must be made a compulsory curriculum in the school. That is why you should go on to feel environment that is going to be the most ethical part of it. Unless we do it, there is no way that we can going to solve the problem, because environmental pollution and degradation doesn't going to know any boundary at all. What happens in Pakistan will going to affect us. What happens in China will going to affect us to Brahmaputra. What happens in India will going to affect Burma after some time. So there are no boundaries in this case. It is a global effort that is required.
And it is often said that a child picks up the most from homes, because that is where the parents become the biggest teachers or the ambassadors for children, the way that they grow up. Just for our viewers now who are watching this broadcast.
The other way right now.
Yes. Now every minute, just to put the story in perspective further, every minute one garbage truck of plastic is dumped into our oceans. This is a story, that picture of the lifeless carcass of the dolphin actually came as a rude shock for all of us. And since we are talking dolphins, since we talked about how that dolphin died of starvation, let me just also say that marine animals, many marine organisms cannot distinguish common plastic items from food. Animals who eat plastic often starve because they can't digest the plastic, and it fills their stomachs, preventing them from eating real food. Well, it is up to us whether we can allow this to go down any further. Can we afford to gift our children a sea of plastics? Can we afford to gift these hapless animals on our screens a sea of plastic to live in? Big questions. Thank you so much for joining me on Talking India Ahead. It was a pleasure to have multiplicity of views on the broadcast. Hopefully, the time will come when India too can proudly say that yes, we have done our bit for banning plastics once and for all. Thanks for watching.